Hello everyone, meteorologist Chad Evans here with a look at your daily weather forecast video, sponsored always by Trent Johnson State Farm. Trent is myagent.com. It's nice and warm today, but we got a few scattered thunderstorms that will occur overnight tonight and perhaps as early as very late this evening. And then severe weather risk tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night before it turns sharply colder. It's going to be windy, even a few snow flurries on Friday, followed by a hard freeze Friday night. And then it turns rapidly warmer again with multiple rounds of rain and storms. And given the amount of rainfall we've got ahead, boy, are we really going to continue to blast through that long-term dryness and drought we've got over a good chunk of the area. Nice out there today, though. Temperatures vary from 66 to 71 forecast area wide, with partly cloudy skies for the most part. Some places mostly cloudy, with a mix of high and mid-level clouds over the area as kind of a secondary warm front approaches. And as this warm front comes in tonight, that is what is going to bring some of these scattered thunderstorms tonight. But these aren't the bigger show. The bigger show for severe weather is certainly going to be late tomorrow and tomorrow night. But if you look closely, this is 7 p.m. to 8 a.m. So this evening to tomorrow morning, you look here, and generally after about 7, 8 o'clock, and then right through the overnight to early tomorrow morning, watch for some scattered thunderstorms to form here and then move southeastward over the forecast area. I can't completely rule out a few instances of sub-severe hail, some pea and marble-sized hail, maybe even a couple of dimes cannot completely be ruled out as these bubble up over the area and then move southeastward. And behind that, it's Certainly the dew points are a lot higher, and an influx of record heat comes in tomorrow. And with that record heat in place, dew points in the 60s, and the shear and the forcing developing, it is an enhanced risk of severe weather tomorrow. That is a 3 out of 5 on the scale for a few severe gusts. Some instances of large hail up to hen egg size, 2 inches in diameter, and I can't rule out maybe a couple of tornadoes of EF0 to EF2 strength. They will start out as supercells and clusters of supercells initially and slowly kind of congeal into a line right over the forecast area. And some heavy rain may be dumped. There are going to be multiple places that get more than 1.5 inches of rain out of these storms. There it is, a 3 out of 5 on the scale, numerous severe storms possible. That is the enhanced risk. So watch them here. This is tomorrow noon, and we go to Friday morning. So if you look closely, initially these are supercells. We'll go back and you'll see them really fire right here. Supercells and supercell clusters form, and then more and more they gel together over the forecast area and then slide southward. So the general timing of the main severe weather risk tomorrow evening and tomorrow night is about 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's when the warnings and certainly any watches should occur, and you can see those storms working their way southward. And be aware of the heavier rain, because a lot of the data is still cranking out some hefty totals of anywhere from around 1 inch to more than 3 inches from those thunderstorms. And a lot of spots are going to get more than 1.5 inches of rainfall just from the thunderstorms tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night. Then it is sharply colder on Friday, and we turn back to freezing temperatures Friday night and Saturday morning. In fact, lows low to mid-20s area wide. The only way we wouldn't get as cold as the low to mid-20s is if some of these low clouds hang on longer. That's the hope. If we can keep the low clouds longer and keep a little bit of a blanket over the area, it won't get this cold. So hopefully that changes, but right now it still looks like a lot of the data is indicating we will have a clearing trend on Friday, and skies should go mostly clear to clear, unfortunately, on Friday night as the winds gradually diminish. And then all of a sudden, boom, it is warm. And temperatures are above normal for days on end, especially at night. Near record warm overnights are ahead to really push that vegetation forward. And this is going to be the trend really as we end March and move into the first several days of April. But the other trend will be active weather in terms of showers and storms. Multiple rounds of rain and storms will pass. There's one, and then we've got another. There's two, and then we'll have another, maybe three, four or five rounds of showers and thunderstorms will come through, and there will be some severe weather risk as well. Now, I think once we get past the 7th or the 8th, we'll see a surface high from Canada come in, and we'll probably end up with about 3 days where it's dry and it's cooler, and there may even be a few patches of frost here and there. You see that high right there, but there'll be another trough coming into the west, and that means stormy weather around April 11th or 10th through the 13th. So the dry period will be brief. But nonetheless, severe weather will be a story in March and move into early April. First, it'll be most intense in the plains, and then we'll get in on several rounds of severe weather risk too. But this does not include the rain we get tonight. And it doesn't include the rain that we get tomorrow night either. This is just the rain the 31st of March through April the 7th or 8th. And you can see 4 to 7 inches is possible. So you take that and you add to whatever we get tonight and tomorrow night. This is a wet pattern we're in. These soils, boy, by April like the 14th, when all this is said and done, boy, there's going to be a lot of wet ground around and a lot of ponding in fields. So this wet weather pattern, stormy pattern, kind of locks in for a little bit. But here's the thing. We then dry out. April 14th through at least the 26th, below normal rainfall, and there could be a 4 or 5 day stretch where it does not rain at all. And I do think at the beginning of this stretch there may be frost and freezing, then we warm up again, and temperatures will be headed back into the 80s. So I do think soils will dry out enough, especially late in this period, to squeeze in field work and squeeze in some corn and soybean planting. You'll want to squeeze that in because at the very end of April and into the first 5 days of May, it's back to above normal rainfall for the forecast area with thunderstorms. So only down to 60 tonight. Be aware of scattered thunderstorms overnight with the small hail risk. And then it's dry and partly cloudy tomorrow with a howling south-southwest wind, kind of humid, and a record-breaking 84 for your high temperature. 83 is the record set in 1907. And then here comes the severe weather during the evening. I did up these highs a little bit. I went for 84 Lafayette, 84 Fowler, 83 Remington, 84 Morocco, will be around 85 from Pine Village down to Rockville, and the rest of the area is going to be hovering around 81 to about 83 degrees for tomorrow. But boy, Friday, you talk about a change, another punch to the gut with a 34 in the morning with a few snow flurries and a strong north wind dropping wind chills deep into the 20s, a high of only 43, some clearing in the afternoon, but a howling north wind, 41 Monticello to 45 Rockville, and only 39 for a high at Rochester. So another big change is ahead. Hopefully it does not get that cold Friday night, Saturday morning. I hope we have low clouds that come back in and only allow us to drop to say 29, but we'll wait and see. Right now it looks like 24, 52 Saturday, 64 Sunday, and then it's 70s to low 80s with multiple rounds of rain and storms Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s and warm overnights in the 60s.